This is KVUE News at 6.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike Rush.
And I'm Quita Culpepper.
We begin tonight with this video. Just hours ago, police in Pflugerville arrested the nurse aide accused of abusing an elderly woman. Police say Carlos Santa Cruz is charged with a Class A misdemeanor assault. Snapchat images show Santa Cruz purposefully tickling an elderly woman's face while she had feces on her hands. It happened at the Windsor Nursing and Rehabilitation Center on Duval in North Austin. Moments ago, we sat down with the son of the elderly lady. Here's what he had to say.
The entire family's just relieved. I'm relieved. This has been just such a nightmare to get to this point. So yeah, it's just a huge relief to at least, get the process started.
That arrest just taking place 2 hours ago. Santa Cruz was suspended from the nursing home. If convicted, he could face up to a year in county jail and a fine of up to $4,000. He's already on probation for another crime, fraud, a third-degree felony.
Our jail cannot be perceived as a holding tank for ICE or that Travis County deputies are ICE officers.
Yes, I want to make sure everyone knows that Williamson County honors all ICE detainers.
Differing views on a big issue, just a county line apart.
That stark difference from the sheriffs in Travis and Williamson counties caused a mix-up for immigration and customs enforcement. KVUE's Christy Millward shows us what happened. Christy?
Well, Mike and Quita, a few weeks ago, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement sent out a report of all the agencies that weren't cooperating with the detainer requests. On that list was Williamson County, but now the federal agency is backtracking, saying they got that information wrong. The ICE declined detainer outcome report from early February listed Williamson and Bastrop counties as each not honoring a handful of detainer requests. But that news shocked Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody.
Frustration at first because I knew it wasn't true.
Now the federal agency has posted a correction on their website saying due to a data processing error, the January 28th through February 3rd report incorrectly attributed detainers that appeared as being declined by Williamson County and Bastrop County were cases where the individual was actually transferred to another facility where they were released. We're told the facility they were transferred to and then released from was Travis County.
They specifically point out Williamson County as honoring all detainers, and I want to make sure everyone understands that.
After the incorrect ICE report, Sheriff Chody says he got backlash from people in his county.
Small group of people that thought I wasn't honoring detainers, they let me know about it.
He says honoring ICE detainer requests is important to public safety.
As a law enforcement officer, I have an oath, and my oath is to do what I think is right, and that is to protect our community and to cooperate with law enforcement at every level. And I believe by honoring all those detainers that we're doing that.
It's a similar view to surrounding counties. Sheriff's departments from Hayes, Burnett, Blanco, and Caldwell counties all tell me today they do and will honor ICE detainer requests. But that's a drastically different point of view from Travis County Sheriff Sally Hernandez.
It is my policy to focus on local public safety priorities and leave it to federal immigration officials to focus on federal immigration enforcement.
But Sheriff Chody says he and Sheriff Hernandez work well together.
We may not agree politically, but it doesn't mean we can't communicate about the issues at hand.
A communication that is sure to continue. The Bastrop Sheriff released a statement saying they are committed to mutual cooperation among all law enforcement, saying they too will honor ICE detainer requests. Live in the newsroom, Christy Millward, KVUE News.
Thank you, Christy. A major backup on 183 in southeast Austin starting to unwind right now. A truck with an oversized load crashed into an overpass. It happened at 183 and Highway 71 right by the airport. Parts of both highways were closed for a couple of hours, but they're now back open. But of course, you can still expect delays in that area. The United Nations held an emergency meeting today over the latest attack in Syria. Officials believe this latest round involved the use of chemical warfare.
The question now is, how will the U.S. respond in what's becoming an increasingly tenuous conflict? A warning, the video in this story is disturbing. KVUE's Michael Perchik has more.
The cries of children. Yelling silence. The spray used to hose down victims of reported poisonous gas by the Assad regime during an attack in the city of Idlib. More than 70 people killed on Tuesday, many of whom were women and children. These latest images shocking the public and spurring an emergency UN Security Council meeting.
A few weeks ago, this council attempted to hold Assad accountable for suffocating his own people to death with toxic chemicals.
As the violence in the region has increased, so has the difficulty for world leaders to act. Emily Hawthorne is a Middle East analyst with Stratfor, an Austin-based global intelligence firm. She says the U.S. focus so far has not been on regime change, but on defeating ISIS.
When there are attacks like this, there is renewed interest on the issue of regime change and the question of where does Assad go because of the human cost of the conflict.
As for that human cost, it's seen in both lives lost and displaced.
There is a certain degree of boldness coming from the Syrian government that they would dare to conduct such an attack. And I think a lot of it has to do with an absence of a fear of reprisal.
Pew Research reports about 12,500 Syrian refugees settled in the U.S. last year, the second highest number of refugees from any country. This isn't the first reported use of chemical warfare in Syria, nor the first condemnation.
It has become increasingly difficult for civilians to move around even loyalist territory in Syria.
Even if victorious in driving out rebel forces, Hawthorne notes the Assad regime will still have major issues to face, from a floundering economy to regaining the trust of his people.
And that was Michael Perchik reporting. Syrian authorities claim the release of the gas was due to an airstrike hitting a rebel-held factory. Analysts have debunked that claim. The Trump administration condemned the attacks, though in a follow-up press conference, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer blamed the Obama administration's inaction for the attack. It should be noted in September of 2013, President Trump tweeted in part, quote, "Do not attack Syria."
At the Capitol today, hundreds of women rallied in support of Planned Parenthood. Dressed in pink, they spoke out about bills they say target Planned Parenthood and aim to criminalize abortion. They were joined by former state Senator Wendy Davis, who gained national attention with a 13-hour filibuster on a controversial abortion bill back in 2013. Davis says attacks on Planned Parenthood are attacks on women's health care.
Blocking access to Planned Parenthood is dangerous. It is devastating to the women and the men who lose that care. We know, because we've seen it up close and personal here in Texas. We've seen untold numbers of low-income women lose access to breast cancer exams, cancer screenings, and birth control.
Planned Parenthood staff says there are more than 50 bills that will impact women's health care. After the rally, attendees went into the Capitol to talk with their lawmakers about them.
Also at the Capitol, the House of Representatives preliminarily passed a bill aimed at eliminating the state's backlog of untested rape kits. House Bill 1729 gives people the option to donate to rape kit testing when they apply for or renew their driver's license. Law enforcement agencies can then apply for grants from that fund. The Legislative Budget Board estimates the fund will bring in more than $1 million a year. The House still needs to take a final vote on that bill.